Welcome everybody to the first episode of Season 9 of Hardwood Heroes. I am Nick Niehaus and I will be serving as the host for the next 8 weeks. It's been a long time waiting for Hardwood this past few months, but we are finally back, and I know I'm more than ready to get started on showcasing the area's top talent. Let's get into the program. Tonight we have reporters breaking down all 18 of our teams and what they've been up to in these past few months, but we are finally back, and I know I'm more than ready to get started on showcasing the area's top talent. Let's get into the program. Tonight we have reporters breaking down all 18 of our teams. I'm joined with a pair of the best online hosts that anyone could ever ask for, Taylor Nimmo and Tommy Garvik. They'll have our first Hero of the Week, which will be turning each week, and we don't miss a thing. So PSA to all the ballers out there, we're watching, and if you show out for us, we will recognize. All right, I know I'm anxious to get started, so no more waiting. Let's get into the standings for both the TVC Ohio and Hocking. Vinton County, once again, they are on top of the TVC Ohio with a 5-1 conference record. Only loss coming to Nelsonville-York, which is NY's only conference win on the season. Not far behind from the Vikings is the Alexander Spartans with 4 conference wins. 4 conference wins, a team that is built around chemistry. Athens finds themselves at the middle of the pack, and at the bottom is Megs, who have been battling injuries all season long. Moving to the girls, the undefeated Vinton County Lady Vikings are at the top of the division. Nelsonville-York has the same amount of conference wins as the Lady Vikings, but 1 loss, so we see them at number 2. Alexander and Megs are stuck in the middle, and at the bottom is winless River Valley Lady Raiders. Now to the Hocking. Waterford and Trimble are tied for first place, and that deciding game was set for Friday night, but unfortunately was postponed due to weather. Federal Hocking notched 2 games in the win column for the first time in 28 games. Now for the girls of the Hocking. Who else other than the Lady Wildcats? Waterford is once again perfect in the Hocking, and once again Eastern is right behind them. But not alone, the Federal Hocking Lady Lancers are tied with the Lady Eagles at 6-4 in the Hocking. And a great way to kick off the show is by talking about the Alexander Lady Spartans, a team who has won the TVC Ohio sectional and district finals the past 2 seasons. I'm joined by Alexander reporter Maggie Shandrick. What do the ladies have in store for them this season?
Well, the Lady Spartans have a lot of readjusting to do. The ladies have found a new coach in Jeff Grinstead. He is in his first season and is trying to work with a team who lost 3 starters. Juniors Rachel Richardson and Kenna Rice are the 2 returning starters and are the leaders of the team this year with the 2 years of varsity experience they both have under their belt. These 2 fuel the squad's offense while they both can drive the lane or hit it beyond the arc. Last season, Rice was all-district and Richardson finished all-state. Down low, the Spartans have Kristen Taylor, who is one of 3 seniors this year. Taylor has some good height, can rebound the ball, and she isn't afraid to take it to the hole.
Now, Alexander always has some fun talent to watch. How has the season been so far for the Spartans?
Well, the Lady Spartans currently have a 10-2 record and are 4-2 in the TVC Ohio. Their 2 losses come to TVC foes Vinton County and Nelsonville-York, so they're sitting in 3rd place in the conference. If the Lady Spartans finish the last half of their schedule strong, then they will be strong contenders for the TVC title.
And for the boys team, do they have any chances this year of running away with the title?
Well, the Spartans are currently sitting in 2nd place in the TVC behind Vinton County, who they lost to 69-56 earlier this season. A rematch of this game later in the season will be very crucial for Alexander. Veteran coach Jim Kearns is focused on working towards a winning record this team with a team who went 11-11 last year. The Spartans are led by seniors Luke Kish, Ryan Davidson, and Zach Scripp. Kish suffered an injury and was out for the first few games of the season, but he is back on the floor leading the Spartan offense. But the nice thing the Spartans have is balance. They have a lot of different guys who can step up and make big plays and put points on the scoreboard. J.K. Kearns, Caleb Terry, Davidson, Matt Brown, you name it, everyone makes an impact on this team, and that makes them special. And after a 10-day break, the Spartans resume play this week with 2 home games. Tuesday they host Crooksville, and Friday they have a TVC matchup against Nelsonville-York.
Now I know I'm looking forward to seeing how these 2 teams fare out for the rest of the season. Thank you for the breakdown, Maggie. Switching from Albany to the Plains, both Bulldogs entered the week with losing streaks. Lead reporter Nick Orsini joins me on desk to break down the struggling Bulldogs.
Yeah, that's right, Nick. Both teams have started out struggling. Despite being 14 games into the season, the boys have had more trouble on defense this year than on offense. It's the first season without a 1,000-point scorer, Griffin Lutz, and the offense shows signs that it can score without him. Their defense has had difficulties with foul troubles, turnovers, and keeping the other teams from trading those turnovers into easy buckets. Their defense has surrendered 60.5 points per game, while 6 of their 9 losses have come by double digits. The boys are in the midst of a 3-game losing streak and have lost 6 of their last 7 games. Their offense returned most of their starting lineup, though, with Dalton Cozart running the point, sharpshooter Micah Saltzman, and big men Logan Maxfield, Justin Hines, and Eli Chubb give the Bulldogs a chance to utilize their size down low to beat teams on the offensive and defensive side of the glass. Some of these Bulldogs changed from last year. Athens dropped their only contest this week to Vinton County, 73-62, and they're going to get their next chance to snap their losing streak on Tuesday as they welcome the Morgan Raiders.
So the talent is there for the Bulldogs. They just need to play complete games on both sides of the ball. The girls are in a very similar spot as they return most of their starters as well, but it has not been the start for the girls, and new head coach Seth Matheny envisioned.
That's right. The girls only graduated one senior last year, so most of their starting lineup also returned. New head coach Seth Matheny has implemented a new style of offense that makes the Bulldogs' offense very versatile and potent. Right now, the girls are in the midst of a 6-game losing streak and have lost 10 of their last 11 games. The Lady Bulldogs only had one game this week at home against the Alexander Lady Spartans, and the Spartans took care of business 56-30, but that game was a lot closer than the scoreboard indicated. One thing I've noticed from last year's team to this year's team is the different style of offense. The use of pick and rolls and a spread offense gives open shots to sharpshooters Laura Mandrick and Kaylee Stewart. Major props to Coach Matheny for this new change. The results of the game are not always an indication of how hard this Athens team plays. The girls return to the court Thursday against undefeated Vinton County. Now, Nick, they have a lot of heart, and that's something you cannot measure. I have no doubt that they're going to turn it around.
Surely both the boys and girls have plenty of potential on offense to turn their seasons around, and we'll see how both of those teams respond this upcoming week. Thanks for the great work, Nick. Now, we know you love watching the show, but we have so much more to offer. Get connected with us on Twitter. Follow us at Hardwood Heroes. We have score updates, game highlights and recaps, and so much more. And don't be scared to tweet at us either. We love connecting with everyone from this area. Oh, and of course, follow me too at @host_Nick. I promise I won't disappoint. Now on to Trimble. The boys have been looking to replace graduating forward Tyler Slack from last season, and the girls have been struggling to keep up with the rest of the Hocking. Lead Trimble reporter Paul Roth is here to tell us about the Tomcats.
That's right, Nick. The Tomcats jumped out to a blazing start this year. They won their first 4 games, including a thriller against Eastern that saw Randy Hickson put up 40 points. Hickson was huge for the Tomcats in those games as he averaged 36 points during the win streak and has blossomed this year as the sole leader of this Tomcat offense. However, the winning ways didn't last long as Trimble lost their next 3 games by a combined total of only 8 points. A 9-point win over Federal Hocking Tuesday kept the Tomcats securely in second place in the TVC Hocking with a record of 5-3. Even with the recent skid, this Tomcat team is primed to contend for the TVC Hocking again and on the back of Randy Hickson. And while the boys have had some success so far this season, the Lady Tomcats have seen very little. They lost their first 4 games of the season. A 40-37 win at Southern is the only taste of victory for these Lady Tomcats as they dropped their next 4 games after that, and now they stand at 1-8 on the season. The Lady Tomcats only have 7 players this year, and it's hurting the team's ability to keep pace with opponents. But with all the things that have hampered the Tomcats so far, they could end up being a trap game for some teams. They have enough 3-point firepower, specifically in Sydney Hardy and Skylar Moore, that if they can knock down shots and limit their opponents defensively, they could cause some upsets.
Now, it sounds like both Trimble teams could somehow shake things up in the TVC Hocking this year. Great insight and an even greater haircut, Paul. Thank you. Moving from the Tomcats to the Wildcats, Waterford's lead reporter Nick Mullins joins me to talk some Wildcat basketball.
Nick, it's a great feeling to start a new season of Hardwood Heroes, but nothing is new when it comes to Waterford dominating the Hocking once again this season. Like I said, it's a new season, but not much has changed in Wildcat country. Julian McCutcheon's graduation is their only loss, but she was hurt most of last year. This Wildcats team is determined to get to a state title for the 4th year in a row. Last season, they only lost 3 games, and it looks like they could be better this year with girls like Allie Kern and Megan Ball back for another year. They are on a tear, winning their last 9 games. To start this season, they dropped game 1 to Parkersburg 56-52, but they would get a late Christmas present on December 28th when they bounced back and beat Parkersburg 63-49. That Parkersburg team will probably be the best team they will face all regular season. Waterford is a perennial number 1 in the conference, and Belpre, Federal Hocking, and Eastern all come in at 6-2 in the conference and are looking to battle for that number 2 spot behind them. The Wildcats have already taken them down, and they defeated Belpre 64-18, Federal Hocking 64-31, and this past Thursday, Waterford took it to Eastern 64-34. Allie Kern had 18 points. She passed her 1,000th career milestone earlier this season. Megan Ball put on a black party with, yes, seven blocks. She was just still stuck in volleyball season, while also added 22 points, 8 rebounds, and that Waterford team will look to stay hot on Monday versus Southern.
Now, I know it's no surprise that the Lady Wildcats are dominating, but let's move over to the boys. They had a historic year last year, going 17-4. So, Nick, how are they faring this season?
Well, this year, the Wildcats definitely look different. They graduated 6 seniors, and 2 of them, Jordan Welch and Isaac Huffman, were both on the All-Hero team last year. The loss of seniors can be tough, especially when they are as good as those guys. With having 8 seniors this year, however, it seems like they would have the experience to make up for those losses. Coach Sims said guys like Travis Pontmeyer are starting to step it up. He had a tough start after becoming a focal point on the team. Waterford started out 1-2, but are now heating up at 5-2. The Wildcats will be leaning on guys like Pontmeyer, Wyatt Lang, Bryce Hilverding to start gelling and lead the team through a tight race in the Hocking. Waterford, Trimble, Miller, and Southern are all within 1 game in conference of each other.
Now, it looks like it's going to be another conference crown and trip to the state finals for the girls. The boys, on the other hand, will look to keep building chemistry. From one Nick to another, thanks for the great work. So on this show, we like to break it down week by week for each team, but we have so much more during the week. Go to our YouTube page, WOUB, to see all of our midweek videos. We recap the biggest games each week, and you'll be able to see how each game unfolded for your favorite teams. We have game footage, interviews of your favorite coaches and players, and all that good stuff. So make sure to subscribe to our YouTube. When you head over to YouTube for all of your online content, you're probably going to see plenty of these two. I'm joined by our online hosts, Taylor Nimmo and Thomas Garvrick.
Thanks, Nick. We're super excited, and Hardwood fans, we have plenty of fun new content coming your way this season.
Yes, we do, and let's get right to it. Over in the Ohio, don't let their early season woes fool you. It still remains Vinton County's to lose. The Vikings lost their first 3, but come on. This is a great basketball team, and what do great basketball teams do? They respond, and they have, winning 6 of their last 7 games. During that stretch, they knocked off Alexander to get back atop the Ohio. But don't count out Coach Kearns and the Spartans just yet. They are the epitome of a team that plays together and might just have enough to shock the Vikings. But man, over in the Hocking, there's only 1 game separating teams 1 through 5.
That's right, things are heating up in the Hocking. Last season's reigning champions of the conference, they're back and currently in the top spot. With Waterford, you've got guys like Travis Pontmeyer and Bryce Hilverding. They were great last year, but they're now stepping into a new role as the focal point of the team. But there's one man who can shatter the Wildcats' dreams as repeating Hocking champions, and that's Randy Hickson out of Trimble. An outstanding shooter, but he's outstanding at all aspects of the game. He could give the Wildcats some trouble, and trailing right behind Miller and Southern. Both 6-4. These are 2 teams to keep an eye on as they're right in contention in the Hocking. But Tommy, let's shift gears here and let's talk about the girls.
Yeah, buckle up and enjoy the ride that will be the girls' division in the Ohio. It's going to be a 3-horse race, so place your bets. Led by the Bentley sisters, the undefeated Vinton County Lady Vikings are the favorites to win the Ohio. Right behind them, the Nelsonville-York Lady Buckeyes, led by Jesse Addis. The Lady Buckeyes' only TVC loss was to the Lady Vikings, and they meet again in early February. But don't forget about the Lady Spartans. They are the reigning champs for good reason, and this team has the juice to win it again. Over in the Hocking, it's the same old song and dance, isn't it, Taylor?
That's right, Tommy. It's a new year, but it's pretty much the same story in the Hocking. The Waterford girls still dominating, returning all their starters. The Lady Wildcats are on top once again, definite favorite in the Hocking, and right behind them we have the Lady Eagles. Eastern girls making some noise this season. They lost their star player, Laura Polens, but I'll tell you, the Lady Eagles are still soaring. Tied for third at 8-4, we have Fed Hawk and Belpre that you can't rule out just yet.
Now, this won't be the last time you see these 2 guys. Stay tuned because Taylor and Tommy will have the first Hero of the Week picks of the season to close the show. Thanks, guys. Now, if you're someone that prefers the written word, go to our website. That is woub.org/heroes. We have so much content with such little time on our show to get through, so grab your laptop and hit the browser. We have written recaps of each game we attend, and of course, we have game video as well. Don't miss out on all of our online content. Last year, the Eastern Lady Eagles were one of the most dominant teams in the Hocking. I'm here with Eastern reporter Nate Moore to fill us in on how this year's squad has maintained success from last year.
Nick, this team does have a couple new pieces in its starting lineup, but make no mistake, the Lady Eagles are still one of the elite teams in the Hocking. Going into this season, the big question surrounding Eastern was how would they replace star forward Laura Polens. So far this season, the Lady Eagles have done a pretty good job. With senior Madison Williams returning from an ACL injury she suffered last year, Williams joins returning stars Liz Collins, Allison Bailey, and Jess Parker to add another weapon on the offensive side of the ball. When it comes to Lady Eagles defense, Coach Jacob Parker's group has kept the same defensive intensity as they have held opponents to just 43 points per game. Also, they've had 4 games where they've held their opponents to under 30 points. The main problem the Lady Eagles face, the amount of turnovers they commit on offense. In their last game against Waterford, Eastern committed 19 turnovers, stopping any momentum the Lady Eagles try to get going. If this team wants to keep its spot near the top of the Hocking, they're going to have to cut down on the turnovers and keep playing lockdown defense.
No doubt about that, Nate. Now, when it comes to the boys, they too also face a similar situation in losing a star player from last year. What can you tell us about this year's boys squad?
Well, Nick, you're right. Last year was the play of star Jeff Facemeyer, and he was such a big part of this team. Without Facemeyer, the Eagles are still averaging the same number of points they scored last year at around 54 per game. However, the part of Eastern's game that's still affected by his absence is the Eagles' fourth quarter offense. Without a consistent go-to option on offense, Eastern struggles to find clutch baskets needed to get this team over the hump in late game situations. Out of the 9 games the Eagles have played this year, 4 of them have been decided by 6 points or fewer. If this team wants to make some noise in the Hocking, someone is going to have to step up come clutch time and take control of this offense. If the Eagles are able to find consistency down the stretch of their games, we could be seeing future success coming to the boys out in Reidsville.
No doubt about that. It'll be very interesting to see which player is going to fill that role and step up for this team in the clutch. Thanks, Nate. And if you didn't get enough of Nate, I have another one for you here as Nelsonville reporter Nate Busilla joins us on desk. How's it going, buddy?
Oh, it's always going well over here, Nick. It's going well for the Buckeyes, too. It's starting to heat up a little bit here.
Yeah, no, well, let's get down to it. The boys are sitting at 5-5, just 1-4 in conference, and have been pretty inconsistent at times.
Yeah, Nick, it's been somewhat of a roller coaster so far. But the great thing about roller coasters is that at some point you get off. I think this ride they're on is partly due to their early season schedule. Multiple times this year they've had to wait 6-7 days in between games, and like I said, it's tough to find a rhythm that way. After Friday's cancellations, they'll have to wait until the 16th, a 10-day stretch until they see game action again. But once that day comes, they'll play 6 games in 11 days. I think that's where this team will start to find a little mojo. They're athletic and can make plays, but collectively haven't been moving the ball very well. We've seen flashes of excitement from them in an overtime victory over Vinton County and a come-from-behind thriller against Trimble. Key for them is finding a little consistency offensively. They're a threat in the open court, but seem rushed in the set offense. Games they've played well, they slowed down the offense, gotten into their sets, and executed.
These guys are excited to play, and Coach Justice, as you've told me, is just as amped as they are, and he loves the way they approach practice and the game. Now moving on to the Lady Buckeyes. They've been playing great lately. They're second in conference and have won 3 straight. What has helped lead to that?
Well, they're relentless, plain and simple. We all know how stellar all-hero player Jessie Addis is. She just dropped 30 points in a 2-point victory over Megs Thursday night, but it's her play that doesn't show up on the stat sheet that impresses me. Her hustle and tenacity are unmatched, and her teammates feed off of it. Mary-Kate McCulloch has been finding her range, hitting 6 3-pointers and scoring a career-high 29 points in a 4-point win at Alexander. Not to mention the game winner against Megs. She definitely plays a large role for this team. Haley Hurd has been playing big, and that's exactly what Coach Cassidy needs out of her. She's a force defensively and has done a great job of matching up against other centers. Since they only have 7 girls in their rotation, their aggressive defense leads to some foul trouble issues, particularly with Kyla Henderson. She's a player they need on the court. Each girl plays a vital role on this team, and I'm expecting big things out of them down the stretch.
Thanks, Nate. We'll make sure to keep an eye out for those Buckeyes balling up in Nelsonville. As the season is shaping up, all eyes are on the front runners of the TVC Ohio. Both the boys and girls teams from Vinton County are leading the conference. I'm here with Vinton County lead reporter Catherine Morey. Catherine, what's leading to so much success over in Vinton County?
Well, Nick, as you already said, both teams from Vinton County are leading the TVC Ohio. Let's just take a moment to process how uncommon and amazing this accomplishment is. Now, as far as how they got there, let's start with the boys. The boys are sitting at 7-4 right now. 3 out of the 4 losses came to at the very beginning of the season after injuries followed them into the season. However, they were quickly able to turn this around. The boys went on a 4-game winning streak after these losses before falling to Maysville, only to blow Southeastern away the next week. The boys have won every game ever since. Why is this? Key players are recovered. Both Nayland and Nevin Yates were out earlier in the season with injuries. This impacted the team immensely since the brothers are able to work together so well. When players back them up, that's when you see wins. The team is now also getting used to playing without star players from last year's graduating class.
We've had our ups and downs this year. We're getting better, but we know, graduation's fact of life, and so we always just try to develop guys to step in, and it's hard to replace what we lost. but we've got some guys doing their best right now.
Okay, Catherine, so you've talked a lot about the boys. What about the girls now?
Nick, I was saving the best for last. The Lady Vikings have played 11 games so far and have yet to be defeated. This incredible record comes from an amazing combination of scoring and rebounding. According to Coach Bentley, the girls are working hard and getting stronger with every game. On the court, there's an unbelievable chemistry between the players, which gives them an offensive edge over their competition. Much like the Vinton County boys, there's another sibling dynamic duo, Cassie and Morgan Bentley. These sisters are an unstoppable force on the court, which makes them scoring and rebounding powerhouses. In a game against Nelsonville-York earlier this season, the Bentleys scored a combined 50 points and had an incredible 29 rebounds. When you combine these two players with players like Josie Osley and Aaron Jones, who also contribute points at crucial points in the game, you have a team who deserves to be sitting at the top of the conference, just like the Lady Vikings are right now. At this point in the season, it looks like both teams are on the right track. All they need to do is continue to work together and make their shots.
Now, coming from personal experience, that's good advice, but it's easier said than done. Thanks, Catherine. Now, if you're the kind of person who likes seeing behind-the-scenes footage just as much as the show itself, add us on Snapchat. Each night we have a Snapchat game of the night that you'll be able to follow along with, and even send us some snaps. Be on the lookout for Snap of the Week coming this season, so don't forget to add us on the Snap. The Megs Marauders, boys and girls, have had opposite paths this season. The boys have been fighting uphill all season as they started with a 9-game losing streak. For the girls, they are 1 game over 500. Beside me is Megs lead reporter Joe Hennessy. What's been popping in Pomeroy?
The girls lost a nail-biter, bringing their record to 7-6 on the year. The girls have had an up-and-down season, and their last game against Nelsonville-York was a prime example of it. The positives of the game. Becca Pullins dropped 21 points, Cassie Betsing finished with 11 points and 8 rebounds, and Madison Fields started the game aggressively on offense for the Lady Marauders. Someone to also mention in this game was Maddie Hendricks. She came off the bench and was effective on the offensive end. It was a frustrating ending, though, for Megs, as Pullins had the chance to take the lead with 20 seconds left after an and one, but missed the free throw. Nelsonville-York's Jessie Addis, who was balling as Nate said earlier, dribbled past defenders and found the open score to take the lead with 14 seconds. Megs had another chance, but this time it was Betsing. She would miss the contested layup and the game would end 55-53. A roller coaster of a game and season for Megs, but we'll wait and see how they do in their next game at Eastern as they try to get another W and stay in the hunt for the TVC.
Now, like I said earlier, the boys, on the other hand, they've been fighting an uphill battle for them so far. They have struggling with a 2-9 record, and they only have 1 win in the TVC Ohio.
Yeah, Nick, the thing with the boys is that it's not like they are getting killed in these games and that it's ugly. They are tough, competing, and always battling, but end up short when the final buzzer sounds. They are averaging 47 points a game, and with their potential on offense behind Christian Maddox, Weston Barron, Zach Bartram, the team can easily turn their season around. Now, it's much easier said than done, but if you can eliminate careless turnovers, score the open basket, and stay tough on defense, this team can get some solid wins on their record and compete in the TVC. Athens is coming up, and that could be the game to spark their season and maybe even ignite a winning streak. They beat Alexander this year, who is second in the TVC, so again, the potential is there to make a mark. If they can play as a team and unleash their offensive firepower, the Marauders can turn this negative slope into a positive one real quick.
Yeah, it's not exactly what both teams had planned for this season, but all it takes is 1 game to turn things around, so the future might be bright for the Megs Marauders. Thanks, Joe. Last season, the boys from Fed Hawk did not win a game. This season, they snapped that 28-game losing streak. The Lady Lancers sit at 3rd in the Hocking. Lead reporter Will Collins is here with me to break down some Lancer basketball.
Well, Nick, both Fed Hawk squads have shown a great amount of potential early on this season. And like you said, the boys snapped a 28-game losing streak dating back to 2016. 2-8 may not look like much, but these Lancers have shown some serious flashes of potential. And they've won 2 TVC Hawking matchups this season and currently sit at 6th in the league. This Lancer team won 2 games in a row in Hawking play behind freshman Nate Massey's 31 points in a 60-53 win over South Gallia and a 48-41 win over Wahama, in which Brandon Gould and Josh Rice each had 13 points. Under first-year head coach Kevin Dunnigan, the Lancers have begun to show that they can compete with many of the squads in the Hawking. When I talked to Coach Dunnigan after their home loss against Trimble, he said that he believes that this team can hang with anyone and that they have showed it. All they have to do is play 4 complete quarters to notch a few more wins.
Well, it seems like the boys finally have something to look forward to in the future. How are the girls shaping up this season?
Right now, the girls and Coach Jeremy Tolson are 8-4 and 6-2 in league play, good enough for 3rd in the Hawking. Their only losses come to Waterford and Eastern, who sit at 1st and 2nd. The Lady Lancers will get another shot to beat both the Wildcats and Eagles later on this season. From December 7th to December 18th, the Lady Lancers went on a tear and won 5 games in a row, all those games being lead games against Wahama, South Gallia, Belpre, Southern, and Trimble, who they held to only 17 points. Their loss to Eastern on December 21st ended their streak. They got back to their winning ways quickly, though, beating Ironton St. Joe, Athens, Miller, before falling to non-conference play in Nelsonville to the Lady Buckeyes, despite senior leader Hannah Dunphy scoring 17 points. One thing that has really stood out for the Lady Lancers so far this season has been the impressive play of their defense. They are able to force turnovers and disrupt the flow of opposing offenses. Both squads will be back in action later on this week when the girls travel to New Lexington on Monday and the boys to Eastern on Tuesday.
Thanks for all your hard work, Will. We'll be sure to keep a close eye on these Lancers of Federal Hocking. Now, you saw them earlier. Taylor and Tommy are back with my personal favorite segment of the show, Heroes of the Week. All right, you two, who's been balling out?
Nick, let me tell you, Taylor and I have been so excited to make our first Hero of the Week picks. That being said, it's not easy to make this list, and you better be a big-time player, a bucket getter, a leader. And look further more than our first Hero of the Week, Alexander Lady Spartans guard, Rachel Richardson. She was a huge part of the team's TVC Ohio title a season ago. She was the perfect Robin to her sister's Batman Leah, but Leah is no longer suiting up in the black and red, and it's Rachel's show now. Rachel was the 2 guard when Leah was around, but now the keys to the offense have been handed to her, and she is thriving. She's the conductor that makes the Spartan offense go, and the team's blowout win over Athens Thursday night, she was cooking. 23 points, 5 of 8 from distance, 4 dimes. She's a special talent who has the ability to create her own shot. The way she weaves her way in and out of the lane is second to none, and when teams try to take away her dribble drive, she's lethal from downtown. But Taylor Richardson wasn't the only one shining this week, now was she?
Yeah, Tommy, Rachel Richardson was dominating this week, but we saw plenty of action out of another reigning TVC Ohio champ. Being on a team packed with talent, this guy has been waiting for his time to shine, and his time is now. Coming from the Vinton County Vikings, the boys' hero of the week, Jake Speakman. Now this guy has been putting up numbers all year long. Earlier this season, when the Yates brothers were out due to injury, Speakman rose to the occasion and put up 42 points against NY. This week was no different. Keeping up with his strong delivery, Speakman had 27 points in their game against Athens on Tuesday. What we've seen out of this guy is leadership and composure. He was the safety net they needed on offense to keep things from getting sloppy. Not only did he keep control of the ball, but when Athens was hanging with Vinton County, instead of panicking, he really kept his cool there. And that's something, that's a testament to his maturity, and that's part of what makes him such a great point guard. But before we go, Hardwood fans, we need your help. Think there's someone deserving of Hero of the Week? Well, here's your chance to expose a big baller.
Tweet your vote to Hardwood Heroes using the hashtag Hero of the Week, and who knows, maybe you'll see a familiar face as our next Hero of the Week.
Well, folks, that's all we have for this episode 1 of this exciting season of Hardwood Heroes. You heard the dominance in the Ohio from Vinton County. You heard how Waterford has been able to maintain their win streak in the Hocking. And you've heard what heroes have been killing it on the hardwood so far. Now, of course, we'll be back next week. But if you're impatient like myself, you'll want to hear about games when they occur. So I'm begging you, keep up with our online content. But before next week, I'm Nick Niehaus reminding you to be heroic.